the time of lobsters, right? There weren't trees around when lobsters first manifested themselves on the planet.
Like we always do about this time.
You're watching Blunt Politics with Boston Brian.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Welcome back. I appreciate you for being here. It's Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Somehow you have made it this far in the week. I know I congratulate you on every show, but it really is a good thing that you continue to come back day in and day out and you don't get turned off of all of the bullshit, all of the nonsense that we have to cover and go over and watch and go through together. It really, really is tiring, and I appreciate your vigor and your passion in fighting for democracy here. Welcome to Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Brian. If you're new to the station, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to like the show if you do so, and then share the stream out. That would be fantastic, and you can subscribe too. That's free. Doesn't take anything. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers here at Blunt Politics. That would be great. Got to get to 13 to 14 first, as I always say, but we're not getting ahead of our skis. But Trucker John Raid, thank you guys. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Nordez, as always, for kicking it off in the right way. You guys are fucking unbelievable. You really are. Thank you to the mods for being here, as always. Thank you for keeping this chat a nice, safe place where people can still engage in healthy debate. Lots to talk about. We are mere hours away from Donald Trump's meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. We talked about yesterday this right here. I guess I'll just put this back on the stage for everybody that didn't quite get to see this on the show yesterday. Oops, sorry, no, Des. I appreciate you, but that's got to go. And I got to do this and a little bit of this. So this is the Telegraph article that we were reading a little bit about yesterday, and I'm sure you may have seen it has since made its way around social media. The corporate media, and everybody's talking about what Donald Trump is giving up or willing to give up to Vladimir Putin to, again, appease him, to allow him to profit from his dictatorial, illegal territorial expansion and murderous policies that he's conducted inside of Ukraine. I mean, again, so you can talk about treason in Ukraine. You can talk about tyranny in D.C. Which one do you guys want to stop? You know what I mean? But first, we should probably get a show note out there. I don't want to go on like I'm misleading you guys at all. Unfortunately, we were going to have the Major on the show today, but unfortunately, because of his hectic schedule, because of how busy he is in trying to run for North Carolina's 9th congressional district there, Ojeda for NC. Make sure you're checking him out, following him on all his social media platforms, following him in his campaign. Unfortunately, something has come up, but we're going to try to get him on the show Sunday, which kind of works out a little better if I do say so myself, because we tend to have a little bit of a bigger audience on Sundays for whatever reason. I think that's because when that's the main show. That's kind of when we started. Our show was on Sunday, so that's what people know. But so I'd like to get more eyes, more people watching, as many as possible to hear what he's got to say. I'd like to get his take on any number of things going on in today's political reality, whether it be, the stuff going on here in Ukraine, talking about his campaign, what he's seeing as far as talking to constituents. I know he's been going to a lot of town halls and a lot of meetings and talking and handshaking with a lot of people. So I'm curious to see what he's hearing from the people and if it kind of correlates with what we've been talking about here in the poll numbers that we showed on the show yesterday, as far as people being, really pissed off with Donald Trump as far as his tariff policies, not delivering on lowering prices, demeaning our allies at every possible turn, and lifting up Russia, lifting up Putin, talking about Viktor Orban, talking about other dictators in a reasonable light, and with a positive spin, when he again tells everybody that he disagrees with everything that Volodymyr Zelensky has done so far in this war. What else do we got? So I know not only that, but at 11:30 my time, I believe Gavin Newsom has a press conference. I know he's been doing some good work. He's going to announce, he's going to have an announcement as pertains to the redistricting and his fight against Donald Trump. So I was kind of hoping that we could dive into that when he comes on. I know Trump is scheduled to speak at 1:00 somewhere to announce something. So we'll kind of keep one eye on that to see what he's got to say a day before, again, this hugely important meeting where he plans to give up not only Alaska's natural resources, or at least a piece of Alaska's natural resources, but also the minerals coming from the occupied territories in Ukraine, now held by Russia, and also the lifting of American sanctions on Russian aviation companies. So it's kind of like a triple it's like a triple wham bam threat here that he's given Vladimir Putin. Like he's giving him the whole kit and caboodle. Not only is he giving him the territory, but he's also allowing him to profit from the territory. He's also allowing him to profit from our territory. He's also allowing the aviation industries in Russia to again get back at a higher capacity, to get back at where at least they were before the sanctions were put on. So again, it's just appeasement at every turn. There's no other way to talk about this other than capitulation. It's remarkable that you can shun the Ukrainians and not allow Volodymyr Zelensky to sit down at the table with you at the request of Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump said in this little thing that we watched yesterday from the Kennedy Center that he was asked, was it your decision to not allow Volodymyr Zelensky to come and sit down at these talks? And he said, no, it was quite the opposite. One can only assume that because there's only two nations involved in these talks, that if it wasn't the United States that said Volodymyr Zelensky shouldn't be there, then it was Vladimir Putin, and then it was agreed to by the United States and Donald Trump. So that just goes to show you exactly where everybody lies in this situation. Again, Donald Trump said he doesn't even think anything's going to come from this first meeting, and then he's looking forward to setting up a second meeting between Zelensky and Putin, and he could be there if they want him to be. Like anybody gives a shit what he has to say. He also went on to say that he said directly that he would not be able to get Vladimir Putin to stop targeting Ukrainian civilians. Was asked directly by a reporter, do you think in these talks you can get Vladimir Putin to stop targeting Ukrainian civilians? Donald Trump says no. Okay, so if Vladimir Putin doesn't stop targeting Ukrainian civilians, guess fucking what? This fucking war doesn't end. This war continues. That's just that's period, point blank, end of fucking story right there. If Vladimir Putin is going to continue to drone strike and missile strike the fucking Ukrainian civilians on a nightly basis, then there's no such thing as peace. This isn't a peace deal. How do you walk into a peace deal, a peace negotiation, already having given up on the fact that you can affect some change on the other side? Like he's already telling you, no, I cannot sway Vladimir Putin to come to some sort of peace. He can't even get him to stop targeting civilians. Like, can we stick to specifically military conflict here? Like, he can't even get him to do that. And we're talking about fucking peace? Practice? We're talking about fucking practice? Good God. He can't even, like I said, he can't even get him to stop fucking. And he said it by his own words. It's not like I'm like drawing this from my own conclusions based on, different pieces of the puzzle. This was said by Donald Trump, specifically asked, can you get him to stop targeting Ukrainian civilians? No. The answer is no, Donald Trump said. Fucking outrageous. Really is. We also got to talk about this quick video discussing the displaced people in Gaza scramble for water during heat wave. I just want to, again, continue to impress upon the people the conditions over there. Now we're talking about Gavin Newsom. He's been, again, going after Donald Trump, trolling Donald Trump on social media. What time is it? I want to keep my eye on the clock. I think, let's see, I think Mel sent me an email here about the announcement. Maybe I'll just click on it so we got it ready just in case. Hey there, we're updating on terms of service. Good. I don't give a shit. We can watch this on YouTube here, so let me click on it so I have it ready just in case. All right, so we get 18 minutes and 45 seconds before that starts. We'll check back in on that. If anybody sees me maybe forgetting about that, see if you can just remind me in the chat that we got about 19 minutes before that starts, and I'd like to hear what the governor has to say. What else are we covering today? So we also have another clip from the I've Had It podcast. There's this Epstein documentary. Holy shit, that I want to show. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This was posted on YouTube. It's nothing new, right? It's not anything new. It's new to me, or at least it's new. It's new in a long time to me. But this is something that I want to show. This was what's the title of this one? Let me see if Epstein Maxwell hidden documentary. Right, this lady said it was very hard for her to find. She was actually interviewed. The lady that posted this actually said she was interviewed for this documentary back in the day. I don't know what year it was. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll take a look at this. But there already seems to be some remarkable clips. It's a 60-minute clip here. Let's see what else is in this thing. I mean, just see. We'll see what other insights and information. I think there's some added commentary by the woman that posted this documentary too. So, and she said it was hard to find. It wasn't easy for her to find, and she was in the goddamn thing. So one can only hope that there is some new information to be gleaned from this. Yeah, American Girls in Paris, 60 Minutes CBS, December 23rd, 1988, Diane Sawyer. All right, so we'll see if we can dive into that at some point. Oh, I didn't even have it on the screen today. My apologies. There we go, right there. American Girls in Paris, 60 Minutes CBS, December 23rd, 1988, Diane Sawyer. All right, so we'll see if we got it. Why does that keep... What the fuck was that? It just went away. All right, what else are we going to be taking a look at? Let's see here. Oh yeah, we got some Volgograd history going on here. Oh, I'm not even presenting anymore. That's why. Share screen. I don't know if you guys have seen this or who's still on this shit site, but as per my job, I kind of have to be. But for some reason, I was kind of curious as to why Volgograd was trending on Twitter. And it seems to be that the Ukrainians have once again struck an oil refinery. So let's, I wanted to see if we could dive into a little bit of the footage that was posted about that. Russia's Lukoil Volgograd refinery, hit by Ukrainian attack drones last night, continues to burn out of control this afternoon. Russian authorities report the leaking oil products caused the fires to escalate this morning. Now, just a little historical one-to-one in the chat. Does anybody know what Volgograd in Russia used to be called? Does anybody know the historical significance of Volgograd in Russia? I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Nicholas, let's go. Just in time. Right at the fucking bell. Here we go. Moon Girl got it. You Don't Like My Music was right on when he said, isn't that the Volga? Yeah, that is the banks of the River Volga. Right? But it used to be called Stalingrad. This was where the bloodiest battle in human history of it, at least of World War II, where at least 2.2 million casualties took place between, I believe it was 42 and 43. But it's crazy if we take a look at those numbers, right? And the length of the conflict at Stalingrad and the meat grinder that produced and then we take a look at the Russian losses as per how much time it's been in their full-scale invasion, like, they're not that fucking far off, right? Like, I know there's a whole different level to it as far as Stalingrad goes, and like the level of killing, the level of devastation, the level of destruction, the amount of snipers. I mean, the whole thing was just, it was devastation on a level never seen before in war, right? Up until that point. But we're not far off, ladies and gentlemen, from that. We really, really aren't, you know? A few added years on there, right? Which obviously, brings down the number of deaths per day. But still, it's remarkable to see just how close. And then if you add in, unfortunately, the losses on the Ukrainian side, like, it's really, really, really not that far off. And it's remarkable to hear just how Stalingrad was explained as a battle, as it relates to the war in Ukraine ever since the full-scale invasion took place from Russia by Russia. And how that's kind of been described and depicted. It seems like there's two totally different ways to describe these things. All right, let me see if I can pull back up. What else did I have here? I had the Gaza thing we talked about, and I wanted to talk about. Let me pull up my email again. My apologies, for some reason that went away. Gmail. All right. Oh, we also have a Greg Kelly clip. So we got a lot of good things to get to. I apologize that I was so slow to get through what we were covering today, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew. So I'm going to try to maybe just show a couple short clips before Gavin Newsom has his. What's up, Trucker John? What's up, buddy? We still got to get to communicating so we can have you on the broadcast, my friend. I'd really like to have you on and have a chat. That would be fantastic, and I appreciate you continuing to send your folks over after your shows. It's really nice of you, and I truly do appreciate it. And so does the rest of Blunt Politics. And thank you, Dr. Cocainium. It's fucking great name. Don't forget Sandwich Dude. I know. Maybe that's something we could dive into just real quick before Gavin Newsom's thing. I appreciate that. Let me see here. All right, let me see. Let me bring this over here. See if I can bring up the story of Sandwich Dude. All right. I could probably just type in Sandwich Dude and it's going to bring up what I want. Let's see. No. All right. He's not that famous yet. Sandwich Dude Piero. So a man was arrested for hucking a hoagie, a Subway sandwich. See if I can just get like a short clip that kind of shows and depicts what's going on. Let me see if I can play this one for you guys. Now, I do not condone this activity. I do not condone such activity because it is a fucking awful waste of food. I will admit, just a terrible, terrible waste of food. But let me just show you this clip here in case anybody hasn't seen Sandwich Guy, who was caught, who was thankfully caught by U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, because we would have just had to shut down everything. We would have had to lock down like Boston did after the marathon bombing. The streets would have been bare. It would have been nothing but police officers roaming the streets looking for Sandwich Guy. But here we go. The guy that threw a Subway sandwich at a police officer on Sunday night was tracked down, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have you know. Thank God. Thank God. Let's see if we can take a look at this. Look, the heroism from the police officers in this situation. The heroism from Jeanine Pirro to stick her neck out on the line, put her neck on the line to track down this criminal of justice. This ultimate fucking heathen. Oh, what a dirtbag. This trash actually threw his ham and cheese, his meatball sandwich at a cop. Take a look at this bullshit. Ready? Here we go. Listen to how fucking serious she's trying to make this. Sub to the chest. I heard it turned on the guy's fucking body cam, which wasn't on beforehand, so it actually did a little bit of good. I'm kidding. I made that up. I'm kidding.
President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And as part of his effort to fight crime, he's bringing in our federal law enforcement partners
like how do we know? I got mid-throw, bro. He put all of his shit into that too. He put his hips, his back, his femurs. He put it all into it. Check this out. Look at the wind up. Look at his wind up on the right. Ready?
enforcement partners like FBI, ATF.
Oh shit. Is that Jared? That might be Jared. We haven't heard from Jared in a long time. What's Jared been up to? Is he mad Subway's still a thing and he's not the face of it anymore?
DEA,
Look at how far they chase him.
Police, everybody to help the Metropolitan PD fight crime. And the president's message to the criminals was, if you spit, we hit.
Oh, shit. Fucking 5 federal officers to chase down the fucking sandwich guy.
Now, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich about this big and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't.
I do too. I do too. I am absolutely way more upset about the waste of a perfectly good fucking sandwich than I am that this guy's now got fucking vinegar on his vest. That is the only thing that vest is going to have to stop in that guy's career. Oh shit. I'm sorry, that's fucking too much. And how seriously she's talking about it too. Like, we got him.
I think it's funny.
We got him. Like, it's fucking her Obama moment coming out and saying we got bin Laden. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We smelled the Italian sub on his hands. We knew it was him.
Today, because we charged him with a felony. Assault on
a felony.
A police officer. And we're gonna back the police to the hilt. So there. Stick your Subway sandwich.
You can't even fucking do your own laundry. I don't think you used the bleach quite how it was supposed to be used in that load, Ms. Pirro. Unless that's just what happens when you do your laundry with boxed wine instead of fucking detergent. Is that whitewashing? Or is that supposed to look like that?
Somewhere else.
Stick that sandwich somewhere else. And I'd smile if I could, but the Botox isn't allowing me to. I'm angry. You just can't tell.
Oh, Jesus. These people are not fucking serious. They are not serious. The fucking federal law enforcement out there ripping people out of their homes, out of hospitals, out of courts, fucking out of work, off of farms, out of Home Depot parking lots, out of Lowe's parking lots, off their job sites, and this guy throws a fucking sandwich in retaliation, and he's getting charged with a fucking felony. That's how back asswards shit is right now. Jesus Christ. All right. What else can we dive into just real quick? We got about, let me check in on the press conference here. Looks like we got about, what's that say, 5 minutes? It's too small for me to see. 6 minutes and 20 seconds until the governor comes on. So let me see if we can just pop something in on this real quick. Let's take a look at his, his tweet from the other night. Look at this. This is him in his perfect trolling that he's been up to of Donald Trump recently. I know we said we saw the I've Had It podcast cover his tweet the other night, but he's keeping it going. I mean, like I said, whoever's running his social media campaign, whoever's running his social media sites gets a fucking at least a B+ to an A. This is how it should be done. Let's just read it out here. We'll go into this. All right. So Governor Newsom tweets, all caps, I might add, just in case you're just listening to the show. This is in all caps again to make it very fucking clear that he's mocking Donald Trump. He says, as many know, Donald Taco Trump, author of The Art of the Deal, deal in quotes, and then in parentheses it says a book he should return to the library, just missed the best deal in history. He always, quote, chickens out, end quote, quote, and in parentheses says tariffs, China. But even a, quote, chicken should know a good, quote, deal when he sees one. I, your favorite governor, Gavin Christopher Newsom, offered the best, most amazing deal in history. Stop rigging Texas maps, and California won't make ours more, quote, beautiful, end quote, sadly. But no surprise, Donald was too weak, little hands, to even write me back. No deal and no deal equals perfect but beautiful maps that will, quote, end his presidency. Soon he will not be 47. Patriots will take back Congress. Many say I should run for speaker. I won't. Make the maps great again. Liberation Day tomorrow. Thank you, GCN. I mean, it's just beautiful because, you know, every bit of this is mocking Donald Trump, from the quotations to the parentheses to the capitalizations to the fucking grammatical errors, you know, calling him taco, you know, bringing up the fact that he once again absolutely bitched out, showed himself to be a coward as it pertains to his deadline that he said China when dealing with the tariffs. As we've seen many times before. Just another reason why I don't have any expectations, any high hopes whatsoever coming from these meetings that he's holding with Vladimir Putin. That again doesn't involve Volodymyr Zelensky or any Ukrainian dignitaries or team, for that matter, to engage in these talks. Right? I mean, it's just kind of fucking. It's like, what are we doing at this point? You just sat here and told us there's nothing that you can do. You can't change Putin's mind, and you're not involving the country that's actually being attacked in these negotiations. So what is this fucking waste of time? What is this show that you're putting on? Why are we allowing this murderous criminal back on United States soil for the first time in roughly a decade? Right? So is there anything else? I know we only got a couple minutes here. I'm trying to just kill time in case anybody's wondering until we can show this press conference, just kind of waiting on Gavin Newsom. We got about 3 minutes to kill. Let's see what we can get into. Let's see what trouble we can get into. I'm really curious to this Epstein documentary. I hope Newsom doesn't go too long, because I'm dying to see what that Epstein documentary tells us. Oh, maybe we could play this. This is a quick clip here. I could play this real quick for you guys. So this is a clip posted on Twitter by a guy called Maine. I don't know. I've just kind of recently been seeing him on here. Seems to be blowing up a little bit on here. But what's really important is this clip from Extra, in which Donald Trump was questioned about a situation involving teachers having sex with students. And then, the woman goes on to say, isn't this crazy? And then we'll hear Donald Trump's response to this, which, again, just gives you a little bit of insight into the mindset of this degenerate, disgusting man. Right? So check this out. This is Donald Trump once again being asked, and you'll hear her ask what he thinks about students having sex with teachers, or I should say teachers having sex with their students. And listen to Donald Trump's answer here and tell me if this doesn't give you, again, very good insight into the dealings of what he's kind of, the shady dealings of what he's involved in behind the scenes. Right? Check this out. Oh, let me play it. That would be great if I could play it, which is right.
Have you heard about all these teachers having sex with their students? Is this not crazy? What is going on?
Right off the fucking bat, his first eye raise would be like, kind of give you a cause for concern, right? He's like, well, you can already say he doesn't think it's a big deal. Look at his reaction to it. It's fucking nuts.
Is this not crazy? What is going on?
Well, I don't think the male students have been hurt by it. In fact, they're going around bragging about it, as I understand it. So, it's. I don't see a lot of damage done.
Fair enough.
But it's a very unusual situation. I would say her husband cannot be happy.
Oh, you are bad. If she still has a husband.
Jesus Christ. So again, that's just a little bit of insight into what this guy actually thinks. No problem. Teachers having sex with the students, not a problem. Actually, it's pretty good, because then it gives the guys something to brag about around school. What a fucking sick. Yeah, even the reporter says, wow. Yeah, but right. No, Mark, you're right. What does she get? She kind of gives him a pass, though, to tell you the truth. She kind of gives him a pass at the end. What did she say? Fair play or something like that?
Bad. If she still has a husband.
Oh, hold on.
Say her husband.
She says, let me hear what she says here.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough, she says, which it's not. Not fair enough. I think there's absolutely a problem with teachers having sex with their students. I don't think that really has to be said too much, right? I think that's pretty easy to say. That's probably a bad thing at all costs. All right, let's check back in on the governor. Hello, governor. Where is you, governor? All right, looks like it's starting. So let me see if I can go live. Share this tab.
National Museum. And it's such an honor for me to welcome you all to the museum.
Why are they playing music that I can't play on YouTube? That's pretty stupid. Why would they do that?
Together to talk
No,
about
it's done.
difficult issues that relate to race, identity, social justice, and the fragility of democracy.
Hit that like button, guys. We're just tuning into the Election Rigging Response Act press conference in California here by Governor Gavin Newsom and others. Please hit that like button. This is Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Brian. Let's get back into it.
And I should add that it's no accident that the museum and the Democracy Center were built on this very site, because this is where in 1942, LA's Japanese American families were forced to board the buses that took them to the incarceration camps for the duration of the war. So for us here at the museum, this is hallowed ground. For us here at the Democracy Center, this is the ground zero point, one of the ground zero points in the civil rights history of this country. And we should note that what happened in 1942 is not much different from what is happening now as ICE is stalking the streets of our city and the terror that ICE is inflicting on our sisters and brothers in the immigrant communities. So it's this. Thank you. Good for you. So it's the power of this place that drives our mission here at the Democracy Center, which is to ensure that the injustices of the past are never repeated, to stand up against authoritarianism, and to defend the principles that define a free and just society. The center, this Democracy Center, for us is a beacon for democracy, for civil rights, and for memory, because it's our living commitment to ensure that we will not reverse course on our nation's journey towards a more just and equitable future. Thank you. Thank you. And now it's my very great honor to welcome to the stage Sarah Sadwani, who is from the California Redistricting Commission. Thank you.
Is this something I'm going to have to is this something I'm going to have to check back in periodically? Do you guys want to continue to cover this? Or do you want to wait till Gavin Newsom speaks and then we cover it? What do you guys think? It's up to you guys. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to, it's up to you. You guys are the fans. You guys make this show run. So it's up to you. Let me know in the chat if you want to continue to hear this, or if you want to wait until Gavin Newsom is on and then we can kind of pick that back up. We'll wait. I say check back in, check back in, check back in. All right. So can somebody in the chat, Yakov says, keep covering. My vote, wait till Gavin, let it play, says God. No problem. Wait for Gavin, no problem. All right, so why don't we do this? I see more kind of wait for Gavins. I know other people voted another way, and I apologize, but unfortunately in a democracy, the the most number of votes wins. But let me just kind of have somebody in the chat just let me know. Oh, Mel says let it play. All right. Head producer says let it play, so I got to let it play. All right, let's go.
They're competitive. Some of the most competitive seats in the nation. Probably some of you here don't love that, but on balance, for democracy, that's a good thing. It's a kind of thing we should have in all 50 states across this country. We used a community-driven approach. We received almost 40,000 pieces of community testimony from Californians far and wide, and we expanded opportunities for communities of color, communities that have long been historically excluded at the ballot box, for Latinos, for Asian Americans, and for Black Americans to elect the candidates of their choice. But these are extraordinary times, and extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. We have witnessed masked gunmen kidnapping our neighbors off the streets, and my understanding is they're outside waiting to do it again. We have seen not just the toleration of political violence, but the encouragement of it on January 6th. Against nonpartisan election officials, and the deployment of the National Guard in our cities, turning our cities into police states. And if that wasn't enough, we are watching executive overreach that no doubt is making our founding fathers turn in their graves. And we have to take action. These are the hallmarks of a democracy in peril. My political science colleagues, Stephen Levitsky and Daniel Ziblatt, who authored a very famous book at this point, How Democracies Die, wrote, "Protecting democracy requires more than fright and outrage. We must be humble and we must be bold." I'm here today to be humble, to set aside the good work of California, but I do so with the expectation that this is a one-time occurrence, that this does not subvert the will of the people of California. And I call upon these many leaders who have joined here today to be bold, to fight for American democracy, to not just pass.
I see Adam Schiff in the background. I wonder if he's going to speak as well.
In all 50 states so that we can level the playing field of a representative democracy. Thank you. And now we'll hear from Jody Hicks.
Wow, thank you so much. Thanks for having me here today. I am Jody Hicks. I'm the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California. So representing, thank you, representing 7 affiliates, over 100 health centers throughout California, and standing here in the strongest of support of California's response to Texas, to any other state attempt to rig this next election to hold on to power. And I want to tell you why. If you remember, it was not that long ago that this administration changed the rules to appoint anti-choice justices to the Supreme Court with the mission to overturn Roe. And that's what they did. 50 years of protections that women had are obliterated because of this Supreme Court. And what they tried to tell everyone, it's okay. We're just putting the rights in the states. So California responded. This governor, these policymakers behind me, we responded. We doubled down on our values here in California, our commitment to reproductive freedom. Voters responded. Voters responded with a constitutional amendment here in California to protect reproductive freedom. Voters responded to what was happening across the country by flipping congressional seats here in California, by kicking out those anti-abortion extremists in an attempt to flip the House. And despite that, despite the voices of the voters here in California, just 3 weeks ago, Congress, all 9 Republican Congress members here in California, voted to defund Planned Parenthood. They knew it would disproportionately target California because we have invested in improving access to reproductive health care, because those are our values here in California. Our health centers, there's over 100 of them. Over 80% of them are Medicaid patients, our most vulnerable communities. And they didn't have the votes to do a outright ban, so they did a backdoor ban, which is essentially putting economic sanctions on Planned Parenthood health centers for providing abortion. So what does that mean? No federal funds go to abortion services. So we're not talking about attacking the service. They described a Planned Parenthood health center, and they will no longer pay for all of the services that we provide. So we are talking about STI and cancer screenings. We are talking about birth control. We're talking about sometimes prenatal care, that they are taking away access, taking away the choice for those Medicaid patients to come to their most trusted place, which is Planned Parenthood. So what do they think the voters' response will be to that? I'll tell you what it'll be. It'll be, you take away our freedoms, we'll take away your seats. We'll flip the House. They know that will be the response. But what are they going to do as a response to that? They're going to rig elections. They're going to rig elections in Texas, wherever they need to, in order to ensure that they have power. So let me be clear. If Republicans are successful in consolidating power, safeguarding their majority in Congress, a national abortion ban is not off the table. And while California voters, we enshrine the right to abortion in our California Constitution, but a federal ban would override our state's protections. And we can't let that happen. We can't sit idly by while the Trump administration, while their backers in Congress pursue every avenue to strip blue states of their autonomy, of people's fundamental rights. Republicans in Washington, across the country, they continue to become more bold. They're more brazen, they're more cruel. And if we do not fight back, they will continue to seize unfettered power, defy the will of the people, and threaten the health and well-being of all of us. So 3 years ago, we stood before California voters and asked them to stand with us to put protections in our California Constitution. And guess what? 67% of Californians did that. So today I'm standing before you again, asking those same Californians to once again protect reproductive freedom, protect the values of California, and stop Donald Trump. We have to fight back. It is the right thing to do. It's the necessary thing to do. And this is California. We don't have another choice. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce Erica Jones with the California Teachers Association. Thank you.
All right, so we check back in on Gavin and Newsom. What do you guys think? What's the vote?
Good
Where
morning.
are we at?
My name is Erica Jones, and I am the Secretary Treasurer of the California Teachers Association, a union of 310,000 public school educators. I am also an elementary school teacher here in Los Angeles. The Trump administration is waging war on every public institution we hold dear. In the short few months he has been in office, he has worked with Republicans, including 9 from California, to freeze funds for critical education programs, including after-school programs, teacher trainings, and migrant education programs. He's cut health care for millions of our students and their families, attempted to dismantle the Department of Education, and passed a voucher program designed to destroy public education entirely. There have also been unprecedented attacks on our immigrant communities and our LGBTQ+ students and families.
It looks like there's a few more people that kind of have things to say up here. I know this looks like this gentleman here has got something to say. So maybe we could check back in on this. Just kind of let me know in the chat when Newsom goes on, when he comes on, if he can, and we'll check back in on that one. Because it looks like it's a bigger event than I thought it was going to be. It looks like there's a few more people that have to speak. Not that it's not important to hear what they have to say. It absolutely is, but I just don't know if you guys want to watch the entirety of the press conference there. Let's see here if we can hop into this story, because I've been dying to. We can do this. We'll cover this story, right?
The number one goal of everybody that is not in the cult.
Time out. We'll take a look at this video, right? And then if Governor Newsom comes on during any time of this, any period, then we'll check back in on what Governor Newsom has to say. That sounds like a deal. Because we got this story to talk about, and we also have, like I said, that Jeffrey Epstein documentary that was posted on YouTube by a woman that was actually interviewed for that same documentary from 1998. She said it was very hard to find. It got a ton of views from what I could see on this. So hopefully it gives maybe a little better insight, a little more information, because there's got to be a reason why it's hard to find, right? There's got to be a reason why that thing's hard to find. But let's see here what the I've Had It ladies had to say. I believe this is talking about Gavin Newsom, so it kind of goes one-to-one with what we were just watching. Trump shaking with rage as Gavin Newsom strikes back, destroying his plan. I believe they're discussing exactly what Gavin Newsom is talking about in his press conference. So this is good that it goes one-to-one. So let's see if we can check this out. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. And make sure you guys keep me updated in that chat. If you see Gavin Newsom go live at all, let me know, and we'll pop right back in on that, and we'll check him out. All right? Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
The number one goal of everybody that is not in the cult. You could be a lib, you could be progressive, you can be a leftist, you can be an independent, just a normal person that doesn't like being lied to on a daily basis by Kinkle's McTaco tits. Our number one goal should be bullying these freak show MAGA cultists, because it is an absolute layup. Look at the way they behave. Look at what they...
That's what I'm saying. When I say that we have more ammunition, like more to go against our political opposition than any political party in history has had against the other political party that they're running against. Like, this is our moment. I mean, you fucking name it. What's up, Vixen? How are you? What's going on? And did somebody just post that he was live? Or was that just you posting the link? Was that just the link to the YouTube? I think one of our mods posted that Gavin Newsom was on YouTube. I just don't want to miss it. I'm trying to stay on top of it. I don't think he's live yet, but I thought I saw that. But this is what she's saying. Like, this is our golden age. Like, this is a fucking layup at this point. Like, it shouldn't be, it can't get any easier in order to show people one side of the political political spectrum. One side, one entire political party does not have your best interest, and one side absolutely does. So, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard for us to fucking convey. And that's, I think, what she's talking about here.
Say, look at who their leader is, who has full-blown dementia. He's about 97 years old, cankles out the wazoo, needs to wear a man bra. That's how easy it is. And Gavin Newsom has started delivering on this. Put up the first tweet. Governor Newsom press office, caps lock. Make the maps great again. Big, beautiful rally today. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Put up the next one. Covfefe. And you may remember that's what Trump in 1.0 just kind of tweeted, and the cultists just all jumped on because they just sit with anticipation, like, what's he going to do next? What's my position supposed to be today? What shiny object am I supposed to cling on?
I got one eye on the Gavin Newsom press conference, just to let everybody know. I just switched screens, so I'm looking at it here on one screen. So as soon as he comes on, or if I see any big changes in that, we'll switch over to that immediately. So I just want to let you know, you don't have to worry about me missing it. I'm watching it here.
And humiliate myself in the comment section over today. So when Trump did Covfefe, I mean, I get it's probably typo. He's, at the time he was probably like 89, right? And he kind of messed it up. But they all jump on and they're like, "Oh yeah, Covfefe, fuck yeah, let's fucking go, MAGA baby, MAGA, I'm a triple Trumper, ooh ooh." All right, next up, caps lock. Wow. Tomorrow, history will be made, and Caro Lion Levitt will have no answers for the supposed fake media about California's beautiful maps. People are saying they are the greatest maps ever created, even better than Christopher Columbus. Donald, the failure Trump, be warned. Tomorrow may be the worst day of your life, all because you missed the deadline. Liberation Day for America. GCN. Okay, it gets better. Put up another one. As many know, Donald Taco Trump,
we just
author
read that
of The
one
Art of the Deal, he always knows them textly to even write me back. No deal. And no deal equals perfect, beautiful maps that will, quote, end his presidency. Soon he will not be, quote, 47. Patriots will take back Congress. Many say I should run for speaker. I won't. Make the maps great again. Liberation Day tomorrow. Thank you. Gavin Christopher Newsom, GCN. And what I have to say about this is the way to do it because it is so unhinged. But this is what Trump has been doing for a decade. Right. And all of the cultist, dipshit, triple Trumpers just get on and just ride that thing all the way through. And so I think every Democratic politician, like, flood the zone with this shit. Go unhinged. Go full unhinged. Fight fire with crazier fire. Okay, here's another one. Okay, Newsweek says Elon Musk's Grok calls Trump.
I saw this. Did you guys see this one?
Notorious criminal
this one is
in
fucking
Washington.
funny. Somebody asked who the most notorious criminal in Washington was, and it came back that it was Donald Trump.
Washington, D.C. Daddy Newsom retweets with comment, not wrong. And I just want to say something, MAGA. You want to call Trump daddy, and he's like breathtakingly unattractive. You want to call him masculine. He's so unattractive that you guys Photoshop images of him being muscular. Gavin Newsom is actually very attractive, and he gives off BDE, and he gives off alpha energy. And Trump is like, I mean, it's just like, he just left the memory care wing of a nursing home. Don't you think, Pumps?
Absolutely. And you look at his makeup and you know for sure something ain't right. This is a man that says he's like 6'3", 245. And in actuality, he's 5'10", 285. I mean, come on. You cannot get.
Hold on. Should we check back in? Hold on. Let's check back in here. Let's see.
And SEIU members are ready to fight. SEIU members across the board, black, brown, Asian, white. We are worried about our democracy, and we are choosing to act. We've been protesting on the streets, and now we're gearing up to the fight at the ballot box. Workers, and in particular workers of color, are rising up to defend our democracy. And SEIU members are no strangers to fighting for democracy. Our members know what's at.
You can see on a lot of their recent videos, I've left comments like, hey, I'd love to get you guys on the show. I'd love to get you guys on the podcast, but I mean, I only have so much fucking reach, guys. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be real. There's nobody lined up outside the doors trying to get on Blunt Politics. I have to reach out 10, 15, 25, 30 times before I get a response most of the time. So I'm lucky to have and fortunate enough to have had the fabulous guests that we've had on the show so far. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Stake. And they know that we're in for a fight that happened. Republicans have one goal, and that goal is to silence the voices of working people, divide brown and black communities in particular, unleash terror in immigrant communities, and establish a government that will serve corporations and the wealthy, not the working people. And it's particularly important that we are gathered in our beautiful city of Los Angeles, because it is here on June 6th that they unleashed hell on our streets. It's here on these streets that masked men came into communities, unidentified, incarcerating, taking working people, taking mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, neighbors off our streets. And for me is with the great sense of pride as an Angelino, that we saw our community defending family, defending community, but most of all, defending our democracy. And we will continue to defend our city. We will continue to defend our state. We will continue to defend our families, and we continue to defend this democracy with all the power of nonviolent action and with the power of our vote. We have no intention to let up at all in this effort. We must have a response to those who choose to do this. And we cannot allow the voters in this country to be disenfranchised, perhaps permanently, by the actions of an authoritarian. SEIU members care too much about fairness, about our right to vote and our democracy to let that happen. And we do not back down from a fight. We support Governor Newsom and the legislative leaders who are committed to taking bold action to protect our democracy. California voters must be given the chance to save our democracy.
One would have to assume Newsom couldn't be too far behind, right?
Will save our democracy. We will not sit silently while extremists manipulate elections, disenfranchise the majority of voters, and take away our rights. We know the rest of the country is waiting to see what happens because California, once again, is at the very front line of our fight against authoritarianism. It is our time to rise up for working people to lead the fight to save our democracy. Our democracy is at stake, and SEIU members stand ready to defend it. We are more committed now than ever before. As I travel around the country, people ask me, how is California doing? I tell them, we are ready to fight. And that's why we're here today. And if you allow me, I'd like to say in Spanish a few words. Primeramente, es un orgullo estar aquí hoy día. Mi nombre es David Huerta, presidente de SEIU USWW y presidente de SEIU California. Representamos a 750,000 trabajadores en todo California. Y estamos aquí hoy día porque ahorita nosotros tenemos que tomar una decisión como votantes en este país, en este estado, este gran estado, right? Nosotros tenemos que tomar una decisión a defender nuestra democracia. Sabemos las consecuencias del resultado de las elecciones de noviembre y lo estamos viviendo en este momento, en este tiempo. Y ahora tenemos que tomar una decisión, a corregir los errores de noviembre y tomar un voto en este noviembre para defender la democracia de este país. Vinimos aquí a este país para una mejor vida. Vinimos aquí a sacrificar para nuestros hijos, a trabajar, a construir. Y nuestra contribución es algo que se debe respetar. El mano de obra se respete. El mano de obra es digno. Y el mano de obra lo vamos a mostrar en noviembre. Porque jamás vamos a tomar decisiones decidiendo nuestro voto por el costo de un huevo en vez del bienestar de nuestras familias. Y hoy día empieza esa lucha a corregir el error que hubo y a defender nuestra democracia, nuestra casa, nuestro hogar. Y vamos a seguir defendiendo este hogar que es de este país y vamos a hacerlo en noviembre. ¿Se puede?
Defend our democracy, right? Let's go.
¿Se puede?
Yes, we can. I know that one. Yes, we can.
Se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede. So it's now my honor and privilege to introduce a friend.
Shamefully, I used to be really good at Spanish.
Leader, on behalf of my family, on behalf of all of us in California, with great gratitude, Assembly Member Isaac Bryan. Sorry.
All right, maybe a few more speakers. Maybe there's a few more speakers.
Can y'all give it up for David Huerta one more time? He's the only person I've seen in my whole life who can come out of an ICE detention cell barefoot and still hit the block the next day ready to stay active. That's the kind of energy that channels the best of what America is, what California is. That's what we're doing in this moment. We're getting active. For me, this feels a little bit personal. Many folks know this. It's in the bio. I was born in Texas, Dallas, Texas. Lived there until I was 7 or 8 years old. California raised me. My little brother, Bobby, who didn't grow up with me, lived in Texas his entire life. And he flew out here this week so he could be a part of this moment. Because just like those 55 Democratic legislators in Texas who left courageously, patriotically to break quorum so that their state couldn't lie, cheat, and steal national elections from the American people, that's what my little brother did and coming and letting his voice be heard. This isn't about redistricting. Don't let anybody tell you it's about redistricting. I've seen a few different polls. Do Californians hate gerrymandering? Yes, we do. Do the American people hate gerrymandering? Yes, we do, and we absolutely should. That's not what this is about. This is about whether we will let the authoritarian in the White House break our democracy while we sit silent, while we take a high road that doesn't exist anymore. Now isn't that moment. Now is the time to square up and defend all that we deserve, all that we've built, all that makes this country truly great. And it's really special to start this off here in Los Angeles. Goodness gracious, LA. We had the biggest fires we've ever had in our city's history. And what happened when they denied us federal aid? We rallied together. We created mutual aid. We stepped up for one another like we should. And then they came with ICE and they ran through our streets looking for families to separate. And what did we do? We took hundreds of thousands to the streets to stand up and defend folks who were struggling. And then they sent in the military, and then the governor sent them packing. And now, as they're coming for our democracy in its entirety, we are not going to stand down, sit by.
And just to show you what they were talking about when they said, when that lady was saying what it looked like outside.
Los Angeles is a safer place since we don't have politicians. We do that ourselves. So that's what we're here today. As you can see,
This is outside Gavin Newsom's press conference right now. Armed Trump administration agents wearing masks just showed up outside of Gavin Newsom's press conference. This is what rising fascism looks like.
making Los Angeles a safer place.
Maybe that woman was being strangely hyperbolic in her statements, talking about masked men outside right now waiting to arrest people as they speak about this issue. So, you know, just want you to know that, yes, I mean, and why again, fucking masked men. This guy doesn't have a mask on. Why does everybody else have a mask on? And this bullshit about being fucking docs, you can stick it straight up your ass, because when you work for the federal government, you don't have that fucking ability. Guess what? There's a lot of fucking judges. There's a lot of prosecutors. There's a lot of people inside the federal government that get death threats on a daily fucking basis. I don't see judges going up there in masks. I don't see prosecutors conducting fucking courtroom fucking procedures in masks. I don't see them walking in fucking hooded robes and in body armor from the courthouse and fucking out of the courthouse. Why all of a sudden do these assholes get some special fucking treatment in order to cover their face, to hide their identity, but still work for the federal fucking government? That's not how it works. That's not how it fucking works. Sorry.
Not tax cuts for billionaires. People want lower prices for working families, not tariff taxes that are costing American consumers hundreds of billions of dollars. People want a government that...
And thank you guys to everybody that's contributed to the show so far, whether it's a Venmo, which is just above me right here. You can take a quick picture with your phone, send a buck or two, bust a buck, try your luck, support some independent media. There's patreon.com/Boston Brian. You can become a channel member for $2.99 fucking cents for the month, just below me right now. That's less than a fucking gallon of gas, less than a gallon of milk. You could support independent media. I really appreciate everybody with the super chats, the super stickers, you know, the membership milestone, those that have been here for you know, fucking 8, 9, 10, 11, 17 months, 1 month, whatever it may be. I thank you guys. Appreciate it. If not, just share the show, like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff's all free and all helps just as much. So thank you guys.
Trump and Abbott have the power to stop it. They refuse. This power grab will not just stop in Texas. If they succeed there, they will try it everywhere. We must be ready to fight, because it is our duty to stand up and push back. The stakes are far too high for anyone to sit on the sidelines.
Oh, you know what?
2026 election.
Speaking of Dr. Phil, I was actually surprised to see a recent clip where Bill Maher, and you know, fucking, we are not fans at all of Bill Maher here at Blunt Politics. We think he's a Weasley fucking spineless, you know, fucking soulless hack. But he actually fucking puts Dr. Phil in his place, and when Dr. Phil is trying to justify him going along on these ICE raids, like fucking Dean Phillips or whatever the fuck the guy's name, Dean Kane, Dean Phillips, what the fuck's the guy's name? I don't know what the fuck guy's name is. Superman there, the guy that's Japanese but is now helping the same government that once interned his ancestors intern other immigrants. So yeah, you can see how the 180 is done there. But all right, let's check back in on this. But yeah, it was funny that you bring up Dr. Phil, because I was surprised to see Bill Maher kind of put him in his place. I'm not giving Bill Maher any flowers or any credit, because, you know, fucking, like I said, a broken clock is right twice a day. But he did make him look like a fool. All right, let's check back in. Oop, my apologies.
I'm Pete Aguilar. I'm chairman of the House Democratic Caucus, and I'm proud to be here on behalf of my House Democratic colleagues in California. We're here today because the Republican-controlled Texas state legislature wants to rig their congressional map at the request of Donald Trump to make it harder for Democrats to flip the U.S. House.
Thank you,
and to
Linda.
hold
Thank you,
Donald
Linda,
Trump
so much for your
accountable.
$10 Venmo. Really
And Texas
appreciate
isn't
you.
alone. Other Republican-led states are making deals with the president to try to do the same thing. Donald Trump knows that without a Republican Congress to give him a free pass, his deeply unpopular policies will face real oversight and accountability. Accountability for cutting health care for millions of Californians. Accountability for disappearing people off the streets. Let me be clear. Californians believe in fair maps. Maps drawn by our independent, citizen-led commission that respects the voice of every voter. But if Texas and other red states want to move forward with their partisan power grab to rig the elections, we cannot sit on the sidelines. The 2022 elections gave us a clear warning. When North Carolina Republicans in the state legislature pushed through their partisan redistricting plan, they gained 3 seats in the House of Representatives. That was the exact same margin that they control the majority with today. Under current maps, we need to net just 3 seats for a chance to hold Donald Trump accountable. California has the largest congressional delegation in the country. And with that comes the responsibility to lead the fight against attempts to steal power from the American people. We have to fight to protect our democracy, because if we don't, the harm of this Trump administration inflicting on our country is guaranteed to go unchecked as long as he is in office.
Guys, you literally
Unlike
can't make
Texas,
this up.
where
You
they are
cannot make
blatantly
this up.
disregarding the
Literally, as he's speaking right now, as he's fucking speaking right now, this is what's going on outside. Check this out. This is what's going on outside. I'll make this bigger on the screen for you guys. As he's speaking.
Okay, want to get to some new video if we can, Secretary. This is coming from our reporters in LA right now, where they say that Border Patrol has arrived just outside of the downtown LA venue where Governor Gavin Newsom was actually holding a press conference today. And it appears that those Border Patrol agents are making arrests, illegal immigrants that I don't know if they were at this press conference, if they were in the area, but this is a very, as John put it when we first saw this video, a very in-your-face way.
I mean, this is these literally, as they're inside talking about defending democracy and what they're doing to the community, they're literally outside those very fucking doors doing that to the community in masks, right? With their fucking Fallujah gear. Fucking unfucking believable. Adam Schiff's now on the podium, so let's see if we can check back in. But I just wanted to let you know that this is happening right now. This, what you're seeing right here, is happening outside of this as they're speaking. So let's check back in.
Post-World War II, we're used to growing up in a world of ever-increasing freedoms. We saw new democracies being born. We saw walls coming down. We saw our freedoms expand, the freedom to speak our mind or practice our faith, or to love whom we would love. And we thought that this was inexorable, that it was like the moral arc of the universe always bending towards justice, until suddenly we found ourselves in a world where it was not bending towards justice, until suddenly we saw not new democracies being born, but new autocracies. Instead of seeing our own rights here at home expand, we saw them start to contract. And we have come to learn, much to our shock and astonishment, that this thing we call democracy is fragile. And now we are on the precipice of another great threat to our democracy, and that is this effort by Donald Trump and Republicans in Texas to take people's vote away, to make the votes of those in California worth less by taking lines in Texas that are already horribly gerrymandered to elect Republicans and making them worse. This is a president who has never viewed himself as a president of the United States of America, but only as a president of some of the states and some of the regions that voted for him. This has never been the case in America. But I will say this, you come after our votes in California and we will fight you tooth and nail. Donald Trump, you do not poke the bear. Not while we're around. And people need to understand why he's doing this. They just passed in Congress the most reprehensible bill, their big ugly bill, that is raising healthcare costs for millions of people. It's going to cost millions of people their healthcare. As we stand here today, notices are already beginning to go out to tell people their health insurance costs are going up by 50% or 70%. People now, parents that are off buying back to school things for their kids, are seeing backpacks up 30% because of his stupid tariff wars, and pens and pencils costing even more. They're having to tell their kids they can't engage in certain extracurricular activities because they just don't have the money. People losing their health care.
And I'm sure so many of you right now in the chat are experiencing things just like this, or have experienced things just like this, not in the too distant past.
But take solace in this. As you, the American people, are paying more and more for your everyday lives, Donald Trump's economy is going great. His personal economy is great. He's building a $200 million ballroom for himself. He just got his third Air Force One. He's making more money for himself and his family than he ever has in his whole life put together. He doesn't give a rat's ass about you. Not in California, not in Texas. He only cares about himself. It is his underlying corruption that is responsible for the reason why you are struggling hard to make a living. And we are going to fight back. We're going to make sure that here in California, your vote matters. If they're going to play with fire, we're going to fight fire with fire.
It's about fucking time.
And let me just say this to quote our wonderful governor, Donald Trump, thank you for your attention to this matter. It is now my great pleasure to recognize my wonderful colleague, Alex Padilla. Thank you, Alex, for all your amazing leadership.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla.
Newsom's got to be next.
And I have a question for the people of California. Are we ready to stand up for our democracy? Are we ready to speak up for our democracy? Are we ready to vote this November and defend our democracy? I thought so. Look, let me also add a little bit more light as to why we are here in this moment. It's been only 7 months of this Trump administration. And when we stop and look at it, you can't help but come back to the words costs, chaos, and corruption. Right? The costs on working families keep going up and up.
I hate to do this. I typically don't like calling people out in the chat, but we seem to have a fan here. JCVS, still go ahead, 1490 something. Doesn't seem to think that Donald Trump has made any money. Well, let me see here. Let's see. I know he said it somewhere. Donald made no money, says JCVS, go ahead, 1490. Well, then what the fuck is this? I ask, what the fuck is this then? All right. New analysis finds Trump family has raked in $3.4 billion off the presidency. America's first family is conducting its grift in full view of the public, but the profits remain a guessing game. Is that good? Do we want the president profiting off the presidency? Is that a good or bad thing? Because a staggering $3.4 billion doesn't seem to be like no money. That seems like money. It seems like a fuck ton of money from different corrupt means, you know? Let's see. His cryptocurrency generated $2.37 billion in value. Let's see. Tack that on to the 127.7 million in legal fee collection and merchandise sales and media empire, estimated to be worth 116 million. Yeah, you know, but no, he didn't make anything. Hasn't profited at all that we can see so far. You fucking, I mean, out of all things to fucking go against, out of all things to argue, you're going to talk about the grift? You're going to argue that he hasn't fucking grifted the American people? More so the MAGA base than anybody else? Literally walking around with Make America Great hats again that are made in China. How fucking stupid can you get? Anyway, all right, sorry, I had to. My apologies.
Republicans in Congress gutting health care, threatening social security, undermining the Constitution with this immigration enforcement deportation agenda obsession they have of 3,000 arrests per day. They know they're not just unpopular, they're wrong. And the only hope they have of keeping power next November is to rig the system. And so that's what they're doing. They're rigging the lines. They're rigging the system. They're trying to rig next year's election. And California's not going to stand for it.
Just in case you just joining us, we are checking in on, this is Senator Alex Padilla. We're just waiting on Governor Gavin Newsom to take the podium here in his press conference, the Election Rigging Response Act. Governor Newsom, again, in response to what the Republicans have been doing in Texas and around the country as a whole as it pertains to gerrymandering and trying to rig elections to gain more seats and deny Democrats seats in places where they deserve more seats. But let's check back in. Just want to make sure everybody knows what we're looking at here. This is our live coverage of this press conference due to Trump's gerrymandering scheme. So let's check back in. Hit that like button. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Bust a buck. Try your luck. Support some independent media. Venmo. Become a member. Patreon.com/Boston Brian. We have our Zoom meeting tonight. Anybody that signs up for Patreon.com/Boston Brian is eligible to get into that Zoom meeting tonight. So hop in. I appreciate it. The water's warm. Oh, sorry, I stopped it instead of playing the sound.
Orgullosos de sus logros, defendiendo su récord ante los votantes, pidiendo apoyo para seguir en la mayoría, seguir en el poder. Pero vean lo que ha ocurrido los últimos 7 meses.
Donald Trump is a fat pig.
Recortes a programas de salud.
Donald Trump is the biggest danger
Costos
that we face
aumentando
to our
para
society.
las trabajadoras cada día más.
Donald Trump doesn't have
Poniendo
much
en
longer to
riesgo el
live.
seguro social.
I'm kidding.
Bien sabe que no es una agenda popular y bien saben que es una agenda dañosa a nuestro país. En vez de defender su récord, en vez de hablar de sus logros, quieren cambiar las reglas de nuestra democracia.
Good translations.
Y quieren asegurar que los líderes en poder en Texas decidan las elecciones, no los votantes. Es un ataque a la democracia de Texas y de California y la democracia nacional. Pero en California nos vamos a parar, nos vamos a poner a trabajar y vamos a defender a nuestra democracia.
In California, Democrats will fight to defend democracy. Did I get that one right at least?
Este noviembre los votantes de California van a determinar
Californians
si seguimos con una democracia fuerte o no. Es la cuestión, la pregunta
fight for
de
democracy?
hoy. So this November, the people of California will stand up and speak up and determine whether we defend our democracy, because California is proud to lead. California always leans in on the biggest challenges, not just for our state, but for our nation. And we're going to do it together, because a
Just in time, this
wise
draft.
governor
Just in time.
that I know is fond of saying,
Gavin should be just coming
if you
on.
want to go far, go alone. Excuse me, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And the person who has brought us together for this fight of all fights is our friend, Governor Gavin Newsom.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank all of you in the spirit of that African proverb that Senator Padilla was referencing. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. And I look back at this audience, and I look at all of you united in this cause. And I'm reminded where we are at this precious moment in time. We are in Los Angeles. The most diverse city in the most diverse county, in the most diverse state, in the world's most diverse democracy. And I've long believed that the world looks to us, to all of you, to see that it's possible to live together and advance together and prosper together across every conceivable and imaginable difference. What makes LA great, what makes California great, and what makes the United States of America great is that at our best, we don't tolerate our diversity, we celebrate our diversity. And it's a point of pride because we're all in this together. Where are we? At Democracy Center. And right outside, at this exact moment, are dozens and dozens of ICE agents. Donald Trump, you think it's coincidental? Donald Trump and his minions, Tom Homan, tough guy, clearly decided, coincidentally or not, that this was a location to advance ICE arrests. Indiscriminate? Perhaps. We'll find out later. It was certainly indiscriminate when a 15-year-old disabled boy had a gun put to his head in Los Angeles trying to go to school just a few days ago. I met with it. I don't need to belabor this, except I want to level set. People are scared. People are fearful. You had a United States senator that was thrown down to the ground in a federal building. Alex Padilla. J.D. Vance's name is Alex Padilla, not Jose Padilla. That's the Vice President of the United States. It's another museum not so far away from us. Talks about those 53 days. Some of you know what I'm referring to. Wake up, America. This is a serious moment. Wake up to what's going on. Wake up to the fear, the anxiety. Wake up to what's happening, not just here in Los Angeles, where we saw our streets militarized. We saw our due process rights thrown out the window. You heard the word disappeared. I was with a 12-year-old boy born in Oxnard, California, whose mother and father were disappeared. 20 years going to the same packing facility every single day. He didn't even know how to get back into his own home, into his own house. Had no brothers and sisters. He has now disappeared in an attempt to find his parents. That's Trump's America. That's the moment we're living in. So these are sober times. And so I'm deeply grateful to all of you for standing up and for being here today. I'm grateful for all the elected officials that are here, members of Congress, not just our 2 U.S. senators, to members of the California legislature for having the courage of their convictions, for standing tall and standing firm, to recognize today is Liberation Day in the state of California. And as Senator Schiff said, Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back. Here's the good thing about California, folks. We're the size of 21 state populations combined. We're the 4th largest economy in the world. We're not a small, isolated state. I know they say don't mess with Texas. Well, don't mess with the great Golden State. And so we're here with our state of mind, with the clarity of our purpose and conviction, to recognize that we need to reconcile the world we're living in. We do have agency. We're not bystanders in this world. We can shape the future, and that's what we intend to do today. We're here because Donald Trump, on January 6th, tried to light democracy on fire, tried to wreck this country, tried to steal an election, as Alex just said, by trying to dial in for 11, almost 12,000 votes. And here we are, an open and plain sight before one vote is cast in the 2026 midterm election. And here he is once again trying to rig the system. He doesn't play by a different set of rules. He doesn't believe in the rules. And as a consequence, we need to disabuse ourselves of the way things have been done. It's not good enough to just hold hands, have a candlelight vigil, and talk about the way the world should be. We have got to recognize the cards that have been dealt. And we have got to meet fire with fire. And we've got to be held to a higher level of accountability. So that's what this is about. It's not complicated. We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats. We're doing it in reaction to that act. We're doing it mindful of our higher angels and better angels. We're doing it mindful that we want to model better behavior, as we've been doing for 15 years in the state of California with our independent redistricting commission. But we cannot unilaterally disarm. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district all across this country, not just in Texas, but in Missouri, where J.D. Vance went just a week ago, in Indiana, in places like Ohio, in places like Florida. We need to stand up, not just California. Other blue states need to stand up. We need to be firm in our resolve. We need to put back. So we're here in that light. And I'm grateful to have remarkable partners in the legislature. It's a tall task. We're asking them for 2/3 of a legislative consent, but this is the difference. This is the difference between what's happening in Texas and what's happening here in California. We didn't receive a phone call from the President of the United States to then quietly go in the back room and start drawing maps and legislatively try to jam them through against the consent of the people. We're doing precisely the opposite. We're working through a very transparent, temporary, and public process. We're putting the maps on the ballot, and we're giving the power to the people. This will be the first redistricting that's ever done that. That's the difference. We tried to raise the standards, and these guys are not playing by any set of rules. So this time requires us to act anew, not just think anew. And so I'm grateful to all of the remarkable leaders that have stepped up this unifying effort here in the state of California. And we'll be asking for the people on November 4th, a special election coinciding with a lot of local municipal elections, to provide a temporary pathway for congressional maps. We will affirm our commitment to the state independent redistricting after the 2030 census, but we're asking the voters for their consent to do midterm redistricting in 2026, 2028, and 2030 for the congressional maps, to respond to what's happening in Texas, to respond what Trump is trying to excite. And we'll do so in a way that also affirms our desire as a state to level the playing field all across the United States. We believe in a national independent redistricting framework. And we believe that's the right goal and the right thing to pursue. And I will just state for the fact, Zoe Lofgren, who runs our California delegation, she authored the bill. Democrats unanimously supported that National Independent Redistricting Commission. Republicans were nowhere to be found. They want to rig these elections, and they want the power that gerrymandering provides, because they know what Donald Trump knows. He's going to lose the midterms. He knows de facto his presidency ends in 17 months when Speaker Jeffries is back in office. He knows it. Why else? Why else would you try to rig the system? Why else would you make the phone call? He's a failed president. Who else sends ICE same time having a conversation like this? Someone who's weak. Someone who's broken. Someone whose weakness is masquerading his strength. The most unpopular president in modern history. An economy that's collapsing all around him. You saw the new wholesale prices going up almost a full percentage point today. Inflation is going up. Job creation is going down. He's trying to rewrite history, Smithsonian, censoring historical facts. And in the spirit of what Adam Schiff said, he's trying to put America in reverse on voting rights, civil rights, LGBTQ rights, on women's rights. He wants to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. That's what this is all about. It's about power. And I want to end on this. And we are about to give power back to the people. You have, on November 4th in California, you have the power to stand up to Trump. You have the power to declare that you support a system that is not rigged. You have the power on November 4th to stand up for people that are being bullied. You have the power to stand up for people that are being intimidated. You have the power to stand up to the rule of law. We're giving the people of this state the power to save democracy, not just in California, but all across the United States of America. I hope we are waking up to this reality. Wake up, America. Wake up to what Donald Trump is doing. Wake up to his assaults. Wake up to the assault on institutions and knowledge and history. Wake up to his war on science, public health. His war against the American people. This is a guy who lays claim to want to get a Nobel Prize, sitting there and bending his knee to Mr. Putin. You have the power to straighten this out. And so I want to again just thank everybody for exercising not just their formal authority. Yes, that's what we're doing, but also sharing their moral authority at this.
And again, just in case you guys are wondering what it looks like outside, what he's speaking about, and if these things are, real things that we have to worry about. Again, this is just out fucking side of where he's speaking right
in
now.
LA right now,
Just
where they say
outside
that
where
Border
he's
Patrol
speaking right now.
has arrived just outside of the downtown LA venue where
Just in
Governor.
case. All right, so that was the press conference and comments there by Governor Gavin Newsom, among others, talking about the threat that we now face and the fight that California is about to undertake, or continues to undertake, I should say, against Donald Trump in his effort to, again, gerrymander and rig the upcoming elections. But yeah, I mean, again, and then, Gavin Newsom was talking about Donald Trump lying about inflation, how we've seen the prices continue to rise and stuff. And he's not lying, because this just came out as well. Donald Trump must have been speaking as Gavin Newsom was speaking. And Midas Touch reports, today's inflation report showed that the PPI spiked to its highest level in years. This on a clip where Donald Trump is trying to say our inflation is down to a perfect number. Check this out. So again, lying directly to the face of the American people. This is why he fired the statistician, so he could come out and make up his own numbers, or at least send a signal to everybody else that if he's saying numbers that don't agree or match up to what they are finding, they better not report those numbers. They better just go with what he's saying. Check this out.
We're also fighting the menace of inflation to make life more affordable for American seniors, and we've ended Biden's inflation nightmare. So we have the worst inflation in the history of our country. And now our inflation is down to a perfect number, a beautiful number, hardly any at all. And yet our country is taking in tens of billions of dollars and trillions of dollars.
Yeah, at the backs of our own people, on the backs of our own people, right? So short-term gains from these tariffs does not even begin to explain the long-term ramifications, the long-term harmful effects that these tariffs are. So, the money's coming from us. That's where the money's fucking coming from. Because we're paying more for the goods that the companies are charging us more for, because they're paying more for, because the other companies, the other countries are being charged more for. So it's just this is the trickle-down effect. This is the Republican trickle-down effect, only it's the opposite. It's more money coming from the lower class. It's more money coming from the consumers that are me and you. Fucking unreal. So as Governor Newsom's talking about exactly that, let's see if he said anything. Was he asked about Vladimir Putin and his meeting at all? I'd have to think he was. Let's see if he was Let's see if he was asked at all about his meeting. I'm curious what else he's saying here. To know nothing about that. Criminals in D.C. Are you prepared to offer? Oh, here he is. He's questioning about the rare earth deal here. Let's see what he says. Let's see what he says. Again, a day before this negotiation, and let's hear what Donald Trump has to say.
Mr. President, one on your Putin meeting and then one on DC crime. Are you prepared to offer Vladimir Putin access to rare minerals to incentivize him to end the war?
We're going to see what happens with our meeting. We have a big meeting, and it's going to be, I think, very important for Russia, and it's going to be very important for us, and important for us only that we're going to save a lot of lives. Look.
I mean, does he not understand that it was already reported on, that everybody knows what the gig is now? What he's willing to offer Vladimir Putin in exchange to, to reward him for his fucking murderous reign? Let's see here. Was there any other questions? I'm just curious if he was asked anything at all about Ukraine. Then we'll go on to our next story here. Nope. Comey and Clapper. Oop, I see something about Ukraine. If I were all right, let's see what he says here. Let's see what he says here. What's going on? I'd like to hear what he's got to say.
Mr. President, does Putin have a strong hand tomorrow?
Well, he came to our country, and I heard.
Question is, does Putin have a strong hand tomorrow?
CNN fake news talking about that was a big win for him. Normally, you would say the opposite, but they said, "Oh, it's a big win that he came here." Normally, would say the opposite. He came.
No, it's a big win because we're allowing him onto our soil, a wanted man, a guy that is literally dodging ICC countries so that he doesn't get fucking arrested, can't even fly over them, and we're giving him the benefit of flying over territory he doesn't have to worry about onto our territory that apparently he doesn't have to worry about, and back again. So that's what fucking CNN's talking about. This is another break because, not only would have he had to fucking circumvent the globe twice if this meeting was anywhere else to try to avoid flying over the airspace of any of these countries that are affiliated or associated with the ICC and that will uphold the International Criminal Court's warrant on Vladimir Putin. But, again, Donald Trump took that off the table, and now Vladimir Putin doesn't have to worry about that, which is, again, what I believe CNN was trying to convey.
I think that President Putin would like to see a deal. I think if I weren't president, he would take over all of Ukraine. It's a war that should have never happened. If I weren't president, in my opinion, he would much rather take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
Jesus Christ. He's been doing nothing but messing around with you this entire time. Imagine being played like a fiddle and then coming out thinking that you look like the strong man. Yeah. Right. In what way has he fucking done anything to sway Vladimir Putin's decisions, fucking the actions they're taking in Ukraine, the rhetoric he's coming out with? Anything, nothing. He said himself that he couldn't even get him to stop targeting Ukrainian civilians. So again, fucking this entire thing is just a fucking photo op is all it is for Donald Trump. A big fucking photo op. Another fucking mark on the belt that is him trying to get the Nobel Peace Prize. And he's just trying to insert himself here where he's actually saying that he can't get anything done anyway. So yes, he's absolutely given Vladimir Putin a pass in more ways than one. See if there was anything else here that he was talked about as it pertains to his meeting with Vladimir Putin. Doesn't seem like it. And then this is what we were covering on our show just a minute ago, which was Gavin Newsom's press conference. All right, so I think we got through that. I don't think Donald Trump really had much of anything to say about it. That does seem like, I don't know if you can see here, but the Budapest Memorandum is trending, which is strange to see. All right, let's see if we can get into we got about a little less than a half hour left. Let's see if we can get into let's see if we can get into this story here. This is what I want to dive into this.
Hey everybody,
right?
I'm
gonna play it from the beginning so you guys can hear it. This is just titled Epstein-Maxwell Hidden Documentary. All right. Posted by a woman who you'll go on to hear says she was actually interviewed for this documentary and that this was very hard to find. So let's see if we can find anything new, hear anything new as it relates to Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell. On the heels of the news of Ghislaine Maxwell receiving even more special treatment as it relates to work release programs and her being able to leave the fucking prison. Her basically, being able to sit around with her fucking girlfriends watching Golden Girls, go out, have a fucking little picnic, come back in at the end of the night, similar to how Jeffrey Epstein was treated. Remember the deal that he got where he was ineligible for the work releases, despite the crimes that he was convicted of or, being accused of at the time. All right, let's see if we can check in on this and see what happens. All right.
Hey, everybody, I'm going to play this documentary for you that's very hard to find. I was interviewed for this documentary 30 years ago.
And that's the only intro that we get. That's the only intro that we get for this, right? So, again, I haven't seen it. It just seemed like something that we could maybe get some good information into in something that I haven't seen, at least myself, All right, let's go.
Know what they're sending our girls into. It's a meat market. You are there for the purpose of somebody wanting to take you home to bed. And what happens if you say no? You don't work.
Every week, dozens of young American girls walk off airplanes in Paris and Milan, certain that their faces will be the next to beam from the covers of the fashion magazines. They are girls as young as 15 and 16, recruited by talent scouts or sent by their local modeling agencies, because Europe has more fashion houses and magazines, and it's easier to get that.
Crazy just how brazenly and blatantly this was being reported on. 15 and 16-year-old girls being flown across the world to fucking Milan and Paris, probably without supervision by fucking rich billionaires who own these modeling agencies and run these fucking fake pageants so that they can get access to young girls. And it just is just a 60 minutes fucking Diane Sawyer piece reporting on that. Nothing to see here.
First big break there than in New York. The girls are told that they'll have a modeling agency in Europe, which will get them work and be their home away from home.
Okay, so I was in the most promising model contest with John Robert Powers in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From there, I went to New York for a competition at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. I walked the runway one time, and Monique Pollard, you'll see her in pictures with Cindy Crawford, Naomi, and all the gang, approached me and said she was Coral from Florida, a real nice little grandmotherly looking lady. Yeah, and then I met Douglas Ash, who was my handler in New York, the president of American Models, and he paraded me around New York City. Then they shipped me off to Paris for Claude Haddad, which you will soon see in this documentary. He's the right-hand man to Jean-Luc Brunel. I was in Paris. I was in Milan. It was freaking hell. I will continue. I'm going to do live streams today on my personal experiences. But again, they called me and interviewed me for this story. This aired and nothing freaking happened.
They are girls like Sherry Bolts from Pompano Beach, Florida, a cheerleader who dropped out of high school and used her savings to buy a plane ticket to Europe when she was just 17. Her local modeling agency helped arrange it and still gets a percentage of her European income. And girls like Megan Douglas, who was a switchboard operator in Washington, D.C., when her photograph won her a spot in a modeling contest. And girls like Kimberly Barker of Nampa, Idaho, whose parents took out a loan to get the money to send her to Europe and to give her a shot at the big time. Though the odds are about 1,000 to 1 that a girl will end up a successful model.
Crazy.
A model like Debbie Haggerty, who makes about $150,000 a year, and says the top models may do all right, but it's rough for all the others trying to break through.
Nasty business, and I don't think these parents have any idea what they're sending their girls into.
Right. I don't think these parents have any idea what they're sending their girls into. Literally trying to fucking warn them.
What the parents are told by those local modeling agencies and talent scouts is that their daughters have been signed up with European modeling agencies, which will take care of everything and become the girls' family abroad. How many girls are on option for this? So it's something of a shock when the girls discover that a lot of those agencies routinely take as much as 3/4 of the girl's salary.
3/4 of the girl's salary? Underage girls sending them across the world, taking fucking 3/4 of what they make? And you're telling me this isn't exploitation? You telling me they weren't exploiting these girls?
For instance, charging fees on the photographs the girls need for promotion, and ostensibly deducting taxes and Social Security, even though most of the girls are working illegally without work permits. We have to check for that.
Just fucking openly reported. I mean, this is 60 fucking minutes in 1988. Just openly reported that underage girls working illegally with no work permits are being exploited and flown around the world to these different fucking organizations that claim to be modeling agencies. I mean, this is just out in the fucking open here.
Okay, so there was a time period where Claude Haddad in Paris sent me to this governmental building with my booker, Tom. Tom was actually a woman. We literally went in this governmental building. No one spoke English. We were in like a cage with a whole bunch of other people, like waiting. And then I had to go up in front of a freaking judge. They talked French, and they did some papers and stamped it. So I contend the UN is involved, and they made us teenage diplomats, and that's how they sent us over to Paris.
President of a fledgling models union in Paris. She's helping some of the girls bring lawsuits against the agencies to learn just where all that money goes.
What happens if a girl goes to the agency and says, wait a minute, how much did they never want to explain it. They just say, okay, baby, we have a lot of expense and we have to pay the tax department and we have to pay a lot of things. So don't try to understand. So do the agencies really pay Social Security on an illegal way? We don't even know exactly if they pay all the amount. I'm sure they don't pay for that.
The modeling agencies also own apartments all around Paris, which they rent out to the new girls who come to town.
So this is exactly how my Paris was. Mine was on Rue de Varenne, across from.
So the commentary that you're hearing is from the woman that obviously posted this video. She's the one that said she was interviewed for this. She's obviously claiming or talking about her experience, a similar experience that these women are now showing on the screen here. She was in Paris. She claims that, they actually made them. What did they say? The UN made them like some sort of dignitaries in order to make it a legal thing. I'm not even sure. I haven't heard that before.
Musée Rodin, across, and also Napoleon's tomb. Okay, we all lived there. Claude's Adonis-like son, Pascal, lived upstairs where they'd have freaking orgies and do drugs. Okay, I walked in on an orgy one time to just go get the freaking vacuum cleaner. This was my life. Okay, insanity.
Several girls to an apartment, and each girl paying a lot of rent.
I lived in an apartment that was by no means nice. There was 4 girls living there at the time. We did have
I mean, is this any different than Taken? Right? Anybody that's ever seen the movie Taken? Where they kidnap the girls, they bring them to fucking, certain places in and around Paris that they have stash houses in. They set them up in rooms as prostitutes. They drug them. They get them addicted to drugs so they can keep them dependent. Like, I don't see this being that much different. Literally just housing young girls, underage girls, illegally working, underage, getting their money stolen, their rent jacked up probably at exorbitant rates. The company making an exceptional amount of money off of underage illegal fucking girls. Halfway around the world, away from their family, housed together with multiple other young girls being exploited at the same time. I mean, it's literally the plot for fucking Taken. I mean, I can see one of these girls having their father show up at any point during this fucking documentary taping and being like, get the fuck home. Like, let's fucking go. Like, enough is enough of this fucking craziness. Like, I have come to finally fucking get you. I found you. Right? Like, I can see that fucking happening in a heartbeat. Like, any one of these girls, and they don't seem happy. I mean, that one girl that we saw said, hey, these parents have no fucking idea what they're sending their little girls into. Doesn't sound like somebody that's really happy with the situation they're in.
rooms, but the rooms were like the size of boxes.
Courtney Powell is from Stoneboro, Pennsylvania. And how much was the rent?
$900 a month.
And you probably $900 a month?
$900 a month. That was when the franc was low, and we were each paying that.
$900 a month a piece from the ladies, from the girls that were living illegally, working illegally, shipped across the fucking world illegally to these model agencies. Fucking extortion.
Eileen Ford runs the Ford Modeling Agency in New York, one of the largest agencies in the world. She's known for the way she protects.
And if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 60 minutes documentary from 1988, December 23rd, 1988, depicting the hidden world of the illegal underage modeling agencies at a time where Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Donald Trump were heavily involved. This was posted by a woman Again, claiming to be involved in the exact crimes that we're now seeing on the screen here. So I'm just trying to gain a little bit more insight in how these things were done. Maybe it'll give us a little bit more insight in how Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell went about their illegal activities. And how they were kind of hidden in plain sight. I mean, you can see the brazen way this is being reported in 1988, a different time, different place. But you can see just how more socially accepted this was. I think this would be talked about a lot fucking differently now at if it were to be 2025 if this story broke. Let's go.
Girls.
Okay, she is a sick pedophile liar.
She uses the European agencies to book work for her girls abroad. So a contract with her can have a profound effect on a European agency's business. We met her at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, where she was looking for new faces. We asked her about the girls' complaints that their rent is way overpriced.
I've heard that, and I know that it's true. It is true that they're overcharged.
Thank you so much, Nordez. I appreciate you, brother. Continuing to keep this fucking chat growing and going. Thank you to everybody that's contributed 50 cents, 75 cents, $1 or $2 to support some independent media. It's only with your help that this show continues. I have no ad revenue, no backers. I'm not selling you anything. I have nothing behind a paywall. All the content that I can generate is for you to view for free. And if it gives you added value, if it gives you added entertainment, if it brings some joy to your day, or if it kills some time, that's when I ask you if you're in the financial position to do so. So please think about contributing above and beyond just the likes, shares, and subscribes. Only if you can, though. Only if you're in the position to do so. If you're not, multiple ways that you can help just by doing the free stuff. And thank you, Nordez, for always contributing to this channel. I really do appreciate it, brother.
These apartments, yeah, they're overcharged in New York too. By the agency? Sure.
So there she is, just outright admitting that it happens all over the place. Like, this isn't just, it's not just us exploiting these underage illegal girls that we have working by charging them exorbitant rates on their rent. This happens in New York too. We do that to the illegal underage girls that we have working in New York too. I mean, just the way that they talk about this so fucking brazenly is unreal. I mean, it really is something to see. I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, you can kind of see how much society has changed. Like, you can really tell how much society has progressed, right? I mean, fucking a lot of people bring up like the seatbelt commercials, not the commercials, but like the news clips when seatbelts were first being implemented, and people were mad that you can't drink a beer driving down the road, and you're fucking, oh, we got to lock our kids up now, right? And that type of shit. Remember that? Now it's like we wouldn't even, that's just ridiculous to think about now. Everybody kind of agrees that a seatbelt is something everybody should be wearing, right? So it's funny on one hand, not funny, but it's ironic to see how on one hand how far we have progressed, but just how we find ourselves in the same and similar situations that we did in that time as well.
Girls say not only do a lot of agencies take financial advantage of them, sometimes they're taken advantage of in other.
I'm sorry, what? Midas Touch's channel just got shut down for TOS on what platform? On YouTube? I know they've been having a problem, I think, on TikTok. They were kind of on on Twitch. Really? Now, what I wonder, were they showing something? Like, were they covering the Newsom press conference? Like, is that something I should be worried about now? Or no? Let me see here. I'm just going to go to Twitch. I'll go to Twitch and see what we can find here. Because that'd be a fucking story if Twitch is shutting down Midas Touch, one of, if not the biggest, lefty progressive political channel. Oh, Newsom is? All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so Mel just informed me that Newsom is taking questions as well. I'm just trying to type in Midas Touch here, see if I can bring up their channel on Twitch, and I'm not seeing anything. For some reason, it's bringing up. For some reason, it's bringing up everybody else's contribution. Oh, all right. Let me see here. Let me go to what Mel sent me. Maybe put this on the screen here. Put this here. Do this here. Sorry, a lot of clicking behind the scenes. It's on the link she sent me. It's on the link she sent me, she says. All right, this one.
manner, and place to send their district director outside.
This is he's addressing the Midas touch thing?
Everything you know about Donald Trump's America. And that was top down. You know that for a fact. They'll deny
I'm confused
it,
now.
Sure. Maybe they won't deny it. Said everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States. I said in a moment ago, wake up, America. Wake up. You will not have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him. The most corrupt president in history. He doesn't believe in free enterprise, crony capitalism. He is wrecking this country, wrecking the economy. He's a lawless president. Wake up, America. Wake up to what's going on.
For the members of Congress here, we know that Congressman Kiley has suggested.
Curious here. I can't find them anywhere.
Everybody, obviously, he could end up losing his job, so he's interested in this. But are there other Republican members that are maybe saying this is not a good idea, that they're uncomfortable with this whole concept? What are you hearing behind the scenes from your colleagues?
1 second.
So,
Sorry, my apologies.
Kevin Kiley,
So is that one of the side effects to getting banned on Twitch? Is like you can't even find the person's channel anymore? Or would it say like, would you be able to find it and you just can't watch the content? Oh, all right. All right. All right. I got you. All right. Well, let me know. I'll see if I can dig deeper into that and let you guys fill me in more onto that. I apologize. I'm coming into things halfway in the middle of the story, so I'm trying to catch up at the same time. Yeah, a lot of people saying they can't find Midas on Twitch. Yeah, I couldn't. It wasn't coming up. I'm just not sure because on YouTube, like wouldn't it just like the channel would still be there, but you wouldn't be able to see any of the content? I'm not sure how that works, actually, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure how that works.
Republicans more seats, but they are also doing it.
All right, but we're almost out of time here. Let me see if there's just one more thing that we could get into. That documentary, I definitely advise people to check that documentary out. Gain a little bit more insight into the fucking dark world that was pedophilia and child sex trafficking involved in the modeling world. But just fucking gross shit. Let me just see here. I want to check in on this asshole for a second if we can. We'll get into, I guess, probably 5 or 10 minutes of Greg Kelly talking about Donald Trump's upcoming meeting with Vladimir Putin. I just want to see what the the douchiest man on television, the lip-lickiest man on television has to say about the upcoming meeting in which Donald Trump is ready to hand over the keys, I guess, to Alaska and territory in Ukraine, and also lift sanctions on a murderous dictator in order to gain some sort of favorability on the Nobel Peace Prize stage. Again, that's all Donald Trump is shooting for. That's what this meeting is for. He doesn't care who ends up winning in these negotiations. He doesn't care how it ends up ending. He just wants this to stop so he can say that he stopped it and add that to his little fucking fake list of other wars that he thinks he ended. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit here. I think he starts about, here he is right here, about with the peacemaker. We'll catch up. I'm going to speed it up just a touch as well, just so we can get through maybe a little bit more than we could have anyway. And let's head into, again, the man with the driest lips on the internet, Greg Kelly.
Already, and he wants to solve this one. And it kind of makes sense that President Trump, the 47th and 45th president, was friends with the 37th president.
Oh, geez. One corrupt asshole shaking hands with another corrupt asshole. What do you say? Isn't that weird, Greg? Thank you, Greg, for bringing that up. We always like seeing his relationships and the connections between one corrupt asshole and another corrupt asshole. So thank you, Greg Kelly.
United States. So,
and just to clarify, people in the chat, it was Midas Touch on Twitch that people were talking about. Brian, you got punked by West. They are still up. All right, that's what I said. I don't know. I was trying to figure it out on the back end. If they are, they are. If they're not, we'll figure it out. So I don't know what else to tell you. I appreciate it for trying to keep me informed, though. Thank you, guys. Let's go.
Great big meeting is happening in Alaska on Friday between Putin and President Trump. Of course, they met before during the first term, and I think it's great. And yeah, sure, our hopes are high, but maybe they're going to have to meet again. Who knows what's going to happen? But it's worth the effort, don't you think?
No, I don't think, because Donald Trump said out of his own fucking mouth he wasn't going to be able to get Vladimir Putin to even agree to stop killing Ukrainian civilians. Never mind end the war in its entirety. Never mind sign a fucking peace deal. Never mind sign on to some fucking ceasefire. Never mind give back the territory that he stole illegally. He can't even get Vladimir Putin to agree to one fucking thing. The easiest thing. To maybe just stop killing civilians. Unreal.
All these people dying all the time. What is the death toll up to right now? I heard
Thank
something
you,
like
Mark. Yep. Mark, they're dropping the link here for that 60-minute story, American Girls in Paris. So if anybody wants to check that out, unfortunately, we just ran out of time here on the show today. But I did want to bring it to everybody's attention and let you know that is available on YouTube for you guys to check out. Again, I think it gives some good insight, as I knew it probably would, because anything that's hard to find, especially for somebody that was involved in the making, or at least questioned for the documentary, the making of the documentary, it's probably got something to hide, right? There's probably a reason why that clip is hard to find. A lot of these modeling agencies probably don't want that clip to be seen, which is all the more reason why we should play that and make sure, even if you can on this show, share that clip of us playing that little documentary and share that out, because the more people that see that, the more better, the more awareness is raised as to, I'm sure, the illegalities that still are in effect, that still take place today. The more we can raise awareness and stop those crimes, the better off society will be, right? All right, so let's get into, again, Greg fucking Dry Lips Kelly.
400,000 to 1 million. Who knows?
Okay, what does it say on his screen right there, ladies and gentlemen? What does that say? It says Russia invades Ukraine, right? So there's clearly no question as to who started this conflict, why this conflict is a thing, who's responsible for it, and who has the ability to stop it if we so choose. But here's Greg Kelly after showing on his screen that Russia clearly invaded Ukraine in February 2022, years after the original war started in 2014. And Greg Kelly's now going to go on and praise Donald Trump for, again, appeasing a murderous dictator for his fucking territorial expansion, his illegal territorial expansion. And then praise Donald Trump for, again, giving away parts of Alaska's natural resources, giving away minerals dug up from Ukraine's sovereign territory, and also lifting sanctions America has on Russia's aviation industry. And even though he's saying right now that Russia was the aggressor, they have every ability right now to stop this if they so choose. He's going to go on here to reward and praise Donald Trump for rewarding Vladimir Putin for his actions.
But it's too many, and we want it to stop. It's fascinating that, President Trump, this person who actually they portray as a monster, right?
Talking about this, in case you didn't see this, in case anybody's just new to, anybody's just joining us, anybody didn't get to see the show yesterday or see the reports online. This is the Telegraph's reporting yesterday, talking about Trump and what he's willing to offer Vladimir Putin here. Donald Trump is preparing to offer Vladimir Putin access to rare earth minerals to incentivize him. He will arrive at the much anticipated meeting with his Russian counterpart on Friday, armed with a number of money-making opportunities for Putin. They include opening up Alaska's natural resources to Moscow, lifting some of the American sanctions on Russia's aviation industry, and possibly including access to rare earth minerals in the Ukrainian territories currently occupied by Russia. So that's what Donald Trump is willing to give away from a country that he does not preside over, that a country he's not from, country he has no fucking lawful position to give away the land of. Not only that, involving Alaska's natural resources flowing directly to Moscow. Again, rewarding, appeasing a dictator, just like fucking Neville Chamberlain, just like we covered on this fucking show, right? Remember this, guys. Remember this. Mel had a good post that she put out comparing the two. She's also had a couple good posts that she's put out recently, a couple good memes that she's done recently, comparing the rhetoric and the propaganda coming out now from the Trump administration to the propaganda and rhetoric that was coming out from the Nazis. The father and son thing and the recruiting, trying to recruit ICE agents, regardless of how old they are, right? And the fucking, how Joseph Goebbels recruited men as old as 60 for the Volksturm. So, I mean, the one-to-ones are pretty easy to see. But, yes, we continue to bring up Neville Chamberlain and the images of him coming back to Britain holding the the white piece of paper, the Munich Agreement signed by Adolf Hitler. This was again ceding the Sudetenland in Czechoslovakia back to Adolf Hitler to again try to appease his territorial expansionism, appease his territorial demands, same as Vladimir Putin, that were taken over by force, or at least threatened with force at this stage. Right? I mean, fucking, how is it any different? I don't see how it's any different. But let's go on with Greg Kelly.
He's tough, he's stern, but compared to Joe Biden, Donald Trump is totally Mr. Empathy. He wants the killing to stop. Joe Biden.
Donald Trump is totally Mr. Empathy, Greg Kelly just said. And again, they cannot go to sleep, take a shit, brush their teeth, or tie their shoes without thinking about Joe Biden. They just can't do it. They just can't do it. And they're going to go on, as I'm going to guess here, because I haven't seen this yet, they're going to go ahead and talk about how, at all costs, Donald Trump calls for peace, regardless of if it benefits Russia, regardless of how much it harms Ukraine. And then they're going to go on and show how stern Joe Biden and how forceful Joe Biden was against Vladimir Putin in calling for our allies to defend Ukraine. And they're going to try to use that against Joe Biden somehow? I don't know. That's just what I'm guessing here.
Over the years, never talked about peace. It was always more money, more weapons. It's really interesting to see these guys side by side.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying.
Yep, just
They're
like I thought.
Russians,
just like I thought.
Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying.
He's a coward.
I signed an $800 million package of security assistance to Ukraine. Today, I'm announcing another.
So they show one president unwilling to back the people of Ukraine, and then they show the previous president who was absolutely willing to back the people of Ukraine, and announcing the incredible amount of funds that we are about to donate and give as aid to the people of Ukraine. And they're trying to make that seem like it's a bad thing on Joe Biden's end.
$800 million to further augment Ukraine's ability to fight in the east, in the Donbass region.
You know what the side I'm on? Humanity's side. I want to stop the killing of thousands of people a week.
Right, meaning he's not on the side of the Ukrainians as he should be, as the world should be in this fight.
I want to stop the killing. I want the killing to stop in the Ukraine-Russia war.
We sent Ukraine more security.
It's not the Ukraine-Russia war, you asshole. It's the brutal invasion of Ukraine by Russia, or the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's not fucking the Ukraine war. It's not fucking in any way Ukraine's responsibility whatsoever. A country merely protecting and defending their fucking homeland, their sovereign territory. And here he is again, Joe Biden probably announcing more aid, more help, more assistance to the Ukrainian people. And this is supposed to somehow make Democrats and Joe Biden look bad.
Since last year, $650 million in weapons. Once the war started, we immediately rushed $350
And again,
million in
don't fucking forget, ladies and gentlemen, never fucking forget what administration warned, initially warned Ukraine of what was going to happen. Let's see here. Never forget, okay? A few things here. Let me see. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out. So yeah, just this kind of gets the point across a little bit here. But this is an article talking about how Biden was the one that warned of Putin's decisive response if Russia invades in Ukraine. So this is the United States telling Ukraine that, hey, that buildup on your border, he's serious about that, and he's literally is going to invade. Like, we were the ones, Biden's administration were the ones to first come out and tell the world, listen, he's fucking going to invade. Like, this is what he's planning on doing. And everybody's like, oh, no, it's just a show of force. And he's not actually going to do it. No, he fucking did it. He fucking did it.
And an additional aid to further address their needs. My administration authorized another $200 million to keep a steady flow of weapons and ammunition.
I'm for stopping killing, really. That's what I'm for.
Literally just examples of Donald Trump's cowardice. That's all Greg Kelly and Newsmax is playing right now. Just example after example after example of Donald Trump's cowardice and inability to see the right side of history, to see what side the fucking arsenal of democracy needs to be behind in this fight. His total ignorance and incompetence in this fucking battle. in his inability to lead. That is literally the examples being shown right here.
Again, a war that would have never started, should have never started. I want to see the killing stop.
I approve.
If it never started, if it should have never happened, I'm curious, why did you need to send? He always talks about how he sent Ukraine javelins when Obama sent fucking blankets or some bullshit, right? Now, what was the need for the javelins, right? If nothing was going on and everything was hunky-dory and Putin would never do anything while you were in power, what was the Ukrainians' need for those javelins again? Can you explain that one to me? Because I'm curious. If everything's fucking hunky-dory, last thing I need is a javelin fucking shoulder-fired rocket heading out the door if everything's all set. Just, going to throw that one out there as well.
Next tranche of U.S. security assistance to Ukraine, including
Hi, Teresa.
more artillery, more ammunition, more anti-tank weapons, and next week, the first U.S. Abrams tanks will be delivered to Ukraine.
Again, just Joe Biden announcing all of the assistance, all of the help that fucking his administration put forth to help the people of Ukraine as he's sitting across from Volodymyr Zelensky. Meanwhile, you got Donald Trump slumped over in his seat in the fucking golden shithouse Oval Office now, talking about how, we just want to kill in this job. I don't defend any side because he's a little fucking pussy ass bitch.
Amazing to watch. Liberals in this country, Vietnam at least, right? They were all for peace, not war. President Trump is for peace. Joe Biden was for a never-ending war, and I have some theories as to why. Deeply, deeply compromised. So it's going to take place in Anchorage, Alaska, at that Elmendorf Air Force Base, which is, way.
That's the thing, Greg, that you misinterpret, I believe, about our assistance, our backing, our support of Ukraine. We do want the killing to stop. We absolutely want the killing to stop. That's something we've called for on a daily basis here at Blunt Politics. I actually stepped foot, drove a fucking vehicle through almost the entirety, half the length of Ukraine to its capital, Kyiv, to deliver it to Ukraine's military so that they could use that in combat. Because I believe so much in this fight, because I believe in our support for the Ukrainian people. And I absolutely want to see the killing to stop. But what I don't want is against the wishes of the Ukrainian people for their homeland, their territory to be given away, for parts of Alaska to be given away, and Vladimir Putin to be rewarded and appeased for his murderous fucking reign. That he should be absolutely held for the war crimes that he has perpetrated. Never mind fucking rewarded for these things. So when it is of sufficient, the negotiations are at a sufficient process or at a sufficient stance for the Ukrainian people where they can accept what's being offered or what's being put on the table, then I will happily support the Ukrainian people's decision to end this fucking conflict, to end this war, getting what they get. But I will in no way at all allow Donald Trump to fucking step all over Volodymyr Zelensky, all over the Ukrainian constitution and the Ukrainian people, and give up parts of a country that he has no fucking rights of against the wishes of the Ukrainian people, only to see this conflict continue for years to come in a militia way, in a fucking hit and run resistance type fucking warfare. That we know that the Ukrainian people will continue. So it's useless to, again, give them anything, to even fucking offer anything that they don't agree with, wouldn't agree to, that doesn't stop this fucking war, because otherwise this is just going to continue. They are not going to stand for the Russian fucking horde living on their territory, stealing their minerals against the wishes of the Ukrainian people only because Donald Trump said so. That's not how this fucking works. All right, sorry guys, I'm a little bit over time today, as usual. I do apologize about that, but this goes on. Greg Kelly goes on to again give excuses for Donald Trump's appeasement of Vladimir Putin. Goes on to try to highlight more of Joe Biden of anything than he does call out Donald Trump's actions and what he's willing to offer Vladimir Putin. In this, just so he can get the recognition, just so he can get the spotlight, just so he can get that fucking added notch on his belt to that fake list of wars that he thinks he's ended so far. Let's see here. Somebody else sent me something. A post from Gavin Newsom. All right, I'll play this just as just on the way out for you guys here. Let me see what you guys are looking at. You guys looking at nothing. Looking at my ugly mug. All right, let me see. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate you sending me all these things today. Great job staying on top of all this. All right, so this is from Gavin Newsom. This is Trump's election rigging has come to an end now. California won't stand by and watch Trump burn it all down. We are calling a special election to redraw our congressional maps and defend fair representation. This is a 5-alarm fire for democracy. Vote yes, November 4th. This is just a quick 1 minute, looks like an infomercial type ad. Getting people amped up and ready to vote. Let's see if we can just play this, and I'll get into thanking everybody, whether it be Venmos, PayPals, or through YouTube. And then I'll get you guys out of here, and you can enjoy the other shows that are on this fabulous platform. All right, let's see if we can get into this. Oh, sorry.
It is a 5-alarm fire for democracy in the United States of America. Donald Trump, who's trying to light a torch on democracy, continue to try to rig the election. His agenda is failing. His presidency is failing. He knows the headwinds in a midterm. Now he's dialing up for seats. He called Greg Abbott, who doesn't have the courage, doesn't have the conscience, and he has rolled over. And he said, yes, sir, and. So,
did he just say rolled over as it pertains to Greg Abbott? Just wanted to throw that in there.
But we have got to step up. We tried to play by a higher set of standards and rules with our independent redistricting, and we believe in that. We are talking about emergency measures to respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas. We will pick up 5 seats with the consent of the people, and that's the difference between the approach we're taking and the approach they're taking. There are no rules for Donald Trump. And this is a serious moment in American history. And so we are here to meet this moment head on. We will not be complicit.
Amen. Amen. And right on. I hope everybody that can vote will vote. Everybody that can step up will step up. Everybody that can fight will fight. And if you can rally, please do rally. Find your nearest rally. Find your nearest protest. They're happening all over the place every day, every weekend, all over this country. And again, we need to unite those protests at one point to make a long-lasting march, long-lasting stand towards the Capitol, towards Washington, in a peaceful protest that this whole entire country can get involved in and get behind. Right. All right. Let me see if I can thank everybody. I appreciate it. Let me do the Venmos first, because I always seem to forget the Venmos. Let me get that out of the way first. That way you guys don't feel like you're always last on the goddamn list. So thank you, Linda, very, very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you to my sister, Kelly. Thank you to Deanne. Thank you to Linda and Nicole and Jennifer and Thomas. You guys are amazing. As usual, everybody that donates on Venmo, again, it's just a simple click of your camera right there, brings you right to my Venmo. Simple and direct way to get the money that you are looking to contribute to the show without YouTube taking its cut, without YouTube taking its fucking sweet ass time paying the creators. That is just the best way to do it. And I tell you guys all the time, I appreciate you no matter how you do it, though. So kicking it off as usual is Nordez. Let's fucking go, you unbelievable bastard. I appreciate you every single time. Sheldon coming in typically right behind the 1-2 punch here. Crimson with the 10 fucking gift. Let's go, Crimson. Appreciate you. I really appreciate you. And thank God for people gifting memberships to this channel. It really does help this channel stay where we are and at least help us grow immensely. It really, really does. So anybody that receives a gifted membership, please make sure you're thanking the person that gifted that membership to you. And even if you didn't, make sure you're thanking the people gifted memberships, because it goes a long way in helping this channel. And if you want to see this channel grow, then, we need to continue to, amplify and elevate and thank the people that continue to go above and beyond for this channel. So I really do appreciate it. People like Carl for being here for 17 months, dude. Let's fucking go. I think that might be one of the longest I've seen. Maybe the orange will give Alaska to Ukraine. Hey, fucking land swaps. You never know what land swaps that asshole is going to come up with, right? Never know. Thank you so much, Jeff, for the cussing jar, for Mel's cussing jar this time. That's, we got to, believe me, between the two of us, we could do some damage with that cussing jar. I can tell you that much. Yakov, what's up, brother? Thank you for being a member for 7 months. Blunt Politics, the blunt truth about politics. Let's fucking go. I tried to bring you the most accurate, the most timely coverage that I possibly can, with my skills and my ability or lack thereof. I do the absolute best I can to put together the best shows with the most timely information, the most up-to-date and accurate information that I possibly can. Again, nothing behind a paywall, nothing that I make you pay for to watch. If you've watched us from day one, you're still going to be able to watch us in day, 15,001 without having to come out of pocket to do so. And that is my earnest hope that I can continue to do that. Not gonna lie, it's getting tough. Fucking California is on another level as far as prices. When you got a fucking haircut that damn near cost $80 fucking, like you need to do some serious rethinking of life at that moment. So, I am really, really contemplating my life's decisions now after an $80 haircut to give up my plumbing job and do this full time. But I believe in the system. I believe in my passion for this, and I believe in you guys and your support for democracy and independent media. And I believe we're going to make this work and continue to make this thing work. So it's thanks to people like Yakov and Jeff and Carl and Crystal that we're able to do so. Habla español si se puede, Estados Azules. I appreciate you, Crystal. Thank you so much. I used to be really good at Spanish. I took Spanish. I think it was Spanish 6, Spanish 5 or 6 in high school. I was really good at one point. Never was really good at hearing it back when it's spoken fast, but I could get by in a conversation pretty well. But I've damn near lost all of that skill that I once had because I used to work in construction and roofing, and it helped a lot. But I haven't been able to use it anymore. It probably would be good to pick it back up now. Living in Southern California would probably be a big advantage here. Thank you so much, JD, for the profanity bonus. As usual, really, really appreciate you continuing to help me out, and the potty mouth bonus. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Curious Cat becoming a new member. I love seeing new members. That means we are actually reaching new people. So it is a real honor and a privilege to have Curious Cat join us here at Blunt Politics. Hope you find a really a welcoming spot in that chat, in the community, and thank you so much for signing up. Thank you to people like Denise as well for having been signed up for 10 months now. Oh my God, again, I missed it. Bud Brain, that's all right, Denise. It's YouTube, so it's always up there for you guys. It's always up there for you guys. So let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. And yeah, I think that's Thomas. Thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate that, dude. You don't really have to keep doing that. I promise. You are fantastic for doing so, though. I hope you find the help that you need in the situation that you're in. I hope people in your life continue to step up like you've stepped up for them. So I appreciate everybody that continues to donate to this channel, continues to help and support Blunt Politics. I'm going to let you guys go and watch whatever other shows that you want to watch. I know there are some fantastic shows on. So please make sure you're checking out and supporting independent media, progressive media. And, if I'm not the one that brings you the most bang for your buck, somebody else brings you the most bang for your buck, make sure you're thinking about supporting them financially, because it takes a lot to keep this going. It takes a lot to, not only be able to pay the bills in your life, but also keep the show running at the same time. Nobody likes talking about it. Nobody really likes the self-promotion parts of this, but it's a necessary evil of the job. So I appreciate you guys as always. Today is Thursday, so I'll see you Sunday with Major Richard Ojeda. For running for North Carolina's 9th congressional district. So looking forward to talk to him, looking forward to hear what he's seen and heard on the campaign trail thus far, and to get his take on, obviously, the ongoing craziness that is our United States and foreign politics. So I appreciate you guys. I'll see you Sunday. Make sure you're hitting that like on the way out. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics, the political podcast made to sift through the propaganda, lies, and bullshit of the mainstream media, Republican Party, and Donald Trump, and breaking it down for the normal, everyday, working class individuals of this country that make this country run, like you and like me, because that's who's affected by these policies. I appreciate it. Thank you so much to the mods. Thank you so much, Mel, for all your help behind the scenes today. Kicked ass, really, really kicked ass on that one. So great show all in all. Thank you so much, and I'll see you Sunday. All right, guys? I appreciate it. Let me see if I can find the exit video. It's got to be around here somewhere. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Keep kicking ass, all right there. Get out. Find your nearest protest. Find your nearest rally. Stay proud. Stay loud. Stay aggressive. Keep your head on a swivel. And I'll see you guys Sunday, all right? I appreciate it. Peace. Yes, thank you. I'll see you guys tonight at the Zoom. Make sure you guys are signed up for that Zoom. You sign up at Patreon.com/Brian. You'll be able to see our face. Check that out. 80 bucks for a cut pre-tip is fucking outrageous. This is nothing against skill or competency of the people giving the haircut. That's fucking outrageous. $80 haircut.
Or go fuck yourself.
We appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time.
Referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small.
He says rectum damn near killed him.
Yesterday is a hard word for me.
Guy who read public documents where the elite said they were going to enslave us and destroy America, and I'm not going to be like yuppie scum and deny the threat to my country. I'm going to fight back.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Yes, of course, hence the name. Movement, it moves a certain distance, then it stops, you see. A revolution gets its name by always coming back around in your face. You tried to kill me, you son of a bitch. So welcome to the revolution.
I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
Bad news, bad news. Even when it's good news, it's bad news.
Back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses. Say mud, I said crud. You fall into some crud or something?
big, fat, sloppy